Yo, I'm going to explain to you how to build an amazing kick-ass dating life literally from scratch. Here's 5 ways that you can meet more women this year without doing all of the pickup shit, because I know you want to create an amazing life of abundance. You want to meet amazing women. You want it to be where you can choose a relationship from a place of choice, where you even have 2 or 3 girls that you're seeing, girls that are amazingly quality, where one of those girls is just like the best one, and after a couple months or a year or 2 or 3, you can say, I want to choose this girl to be in a relationship with and see where that goes. Maybe she's your girl for life. Maybe it's a 2 or 3 year relationship, or maybe it's 6 months where it's just kind of open, but you can choose the life that you want, whereas a lot of guys can't do that. And I wanted to let you know how you can do this without using all the pickup stuff, because for years I was heavily into the pickup community. I was going and approaching girls 6 days a week, following all kinds of principles and techniques, and there are some good principles and techniques out there for sure. I'm going to share some of those actually with you in this training, but I want you to go beyond just pickup. And I think the modern way of doing things is not just go and chase girls. Some people are still doing that, but instead of just going and chasing women, let's see how we can actually design a life around quality, a life around abundance, and a life around freedom. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first step in creating the kind of dating life that you want, the first step in meeting more women this year, taking over your dating life and taking it to the next level, is what we call becoming the product. Step 1, become the product. So I want to ask you this. Are you maximizing your attractiveness right now in multiple areas? Because a lot of men don't do this. What a lot of guys want is to go out and attract women, to put themselves out there, but not necessarily work on themselves first. And I know everyone has a baseline of working on themselves. You want to get a better job. You relatively stay in shape, go to the gym 2 times a week. You eat healthy for a week or 2 weeks and then you stop. Maybe you have a little side project or a side business, you build that. But what's really interesting, and this is the raw truth, it's not a fun truth per se, but it's the real truth. I'm not going to bullshit you. The guys that do the best with women, the men who are the most successful with women, and I mean well-rounded. You have guys that can get a hookup here and there, but they're not necessarily great with women. And then you have some guys that are only in relationships. Every couple of years, they get a relationship, it fails. Those guys are not good with women either. They're good at getting into relationships because they're a good option for a girl to have resources from. But if you want to be truly good with women, you need to start seeing yourself as a product, and you need to maximize yourself as a product. And here's what I mean by that. How do you look? How do you dress? How do you communicate? And how well do you lead? That's an example. Those are 4 buckets of being a good product. What this means is, what does a woman experience when she's with you? What does she experience visually? Like, what does she see? Is she thinking, this is a guy that is physically healthy, physically in shape, and is above average than the majority of guys? Because most guys are not going to treat themselves as a product. This is a fact. Most men will not treat themselves as a product in the dating marketplace. Most guys are going to stick with how they are, and then they're going to go out and try to meet girls, and then they'll get rejected or they'll get lucky, right? Whereas the way to engineer the dating life you want is to literally treat yourself as a product. If you were a business and you had to sell yourself as a product, which sounds like prostitution, but if you were to sell yourself as a product in a marketplace, which dating is, you're in a dating marketplace that's very competitive, you're competing against other men for women. How do you maximize yourself as a product? What do you do? So do you max out everything? This is what I do in my life. I work on myself by going to the gym religiously 4 times a week, because I realized, I'll give you an example with me. I think this is really good. So I had worked on myself in terms of communication and leadership. And to an extent, my looks. I had dreads and I have tattoos. Girls like that. And I dressed pretty good. So I had a lot to offer. So I was meeting a lot of girls. But I wanted to max out my product even more. So I was me as a product. So I was thinking, what's the next level that I can get to that I haven't achieved yet, which is fitness. I've always been very, very skinny. I'm still slim. But I wouldn't say that I'm very skinny now compared to how I used to be. So the next frontier was to maximize myself as a product. I needed to get fit. I needed to get big. So I'm investing time in maximizing that part of product development. And then the next thing is money, right? Building my business. I'm pretty successful overall, but there's levels that I can get to that I haven't gotten to yet. So are you maximizing yourself as a product? If not, you have way more work to do, because that's the first step. Become the product that women want to buy, that women want to invest in, that they're attracted to. After becoming the product, step number 2 is something that we call positioning plus lifestyle. Keep this in your head, positioning plus lifestyle. What this means is that part of being good with women and creating an amazing dating life isn't just getting the girl, but it's where you position yourself. So what you can do is position yourself in the right situations and places that work within your lifestyle, where you're more likely to meet women. This is another mistake a lot of men just don't really accomplish, or I should say it's a mistake because men miss out on doing this. So what a lot of men will do is they'll interact with women in random spots, random places. So they'll either do the pickup thing and go out of their way to go approach girls. Like, I'm gonna take a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and approach girls. That's not bad, especially if you're going out at night, because that works within your lifestyle. And this is something I give my clients. I say, if you're gonna go out at night, do it that way. That's fine. But then some guys will just, like, let's say they want to work on their business. They'll go out of their way. I remember a lot of guys in the dating community, they'll go out of their way to do like a four-hour approach session on a Wednesday. And I'm like, bro, especially a lot of guys that didn't have money would do this, or guys that had ambition to start a business or do something but had more time, they would do this. Now, if you can really make the time to do that, sure, why not? I think that's a way to accelerate your growth. If you can really make the time, and it's really just easy for you to do that. But if you want to build a dating life organically, right? And that means build a dating life where everything happens together in terms of the lifestyle that you really want to create. What you need to do is merge these two things. So taking action with your lifestyle. So an example of this would be, let's say you're into fitness. Let's say you really like being fit and you really like pushing yourself in terms of fitness. Join a health club or learn how to talk to girls at the gym. This doesn't mean every time you're in the gym saying hi to like 3 girls that are there, because then you become weird. But I'm talking about when you're at the gym, making it a priority to talk to one new girl, let's say. Even just chat her up, not for a phone number, not to set up a date, because then that gets, if you have that intention at the gym, maybe it's not so great. But even just talking to the receptionist, right? How do you do this? Because this is what I do now at my gym. I'll just speak to people. I work out now with my AirPods out. I take them out and I talk about people's workout routines. I ask people questions. I shoot the shit. There's a couple people I know now. It's kind of a little social club, actually. We know each other. Me and people know each other. I've gotten Instagrams of girls from there, right? And the reason I'm able to do that is because fitness is a big part of my life. So I'm integrating me communicating with women into that part of my life. Another example, let's say you love film, you love movies. Go to film events or shows. Let's say you're an artistic person. Sign up at the local museum to be a part of the art club or to be a part of the local art exhibit or the art shows, right? You go there twice a month. That's an avenue where you're speaking to women. And then let's say you go out 2 times per week, right? At night, you go out on a Friday and a Saturday. You talk to 5 to 10 women each time. Now you're going to be talking to 10 to 15 women, maybe even 20 during the week. And let's say you work from home and you work out of the house one day and you go to a cafe as well. And you approach 2-3 women every time you're in that work block of around 5 hours of being out of the house. You're going to start approaching women and talking to girls and creating a very active dating life, or at least active in terms of the dating funnel you're building, which we'll talk more about in later trainings. So a really good example I think of this is a guy named, we won't share his name here, but we'll call him Jay. He just joined our program and he's a vegan guy. He's super healthy. He's into eating really clean foods. I'm not advocating that being vegan is best, by the way. This is not an endorsement to you, Jay, for your vegan lifestyle, but I think it's still super cool. He's super healthy, has a very interesting workout routine, and is a very unique individual. And what's happening is I've given him an exercise to position himself around those kinds of women. So what I'm teaching him is, how can you go to events? How can you be a part of circles where those kind of women are going to frequent? How can you be a part of those kind of social experiences, those kind of social clubs? How can you do more of that? And now he's putting himself in those situations, so he's organically meeting the kinds of women that fit his niche and fit his archetype of man. He's meeting these kind of women regularly. Step number 3, after you've figured out your positioning in your lifestyle, and you really need to sit down and think about this, about step number 2. Step number 3 is what we call create momentum, okay? Create momentum is every single week you should speak to a minimum of 5 new women with intention. I would dare say 10. You don't need to be doing pickup to talk to 10 girls. You go out once at night and then 5 girls during the week, during the day at any point. You're talking to 10 girls. That's a good amount of girls you're talking to. Most men don't want to put in this level of work though. Most guys don't want to put in the work. So what I'd say is speak to 5 new women with intention every single week. Now, a lot of people will cheat on this. A lot of guys will make the mistake of saying, I talked to a girl like on Tinder. I opened up a conversation with the girl. That did something for me. No, that does nothing. Talking to a girl and getting blown out, that doesn't count as a conversation. So when we say talking with intention, this means a conversation where the intention is, hey, I'd love to go out with you and grab drinks with you. She doesn't have to say yes. It could be a rejection, that's fine. But you got to that point of the conversation. That's what I'm talking about when I say 5 new women with intention. Get to this point in your dating life and your interactions, because what's going to happen is you're going to gain momentum and you're going to begin building a flow. You're going to build a social flow, and it's going to become very, very easy for you to meet new women. This is where a lot of guys will stop. They'll have different avenues to meet girls, maybe a different positioning, different lifestyle, avenues to meet women. But then when it comes to actually building the momentum, when it comes to actually saying, I'm going to put myself out there, I'm going to actively talk to 5 to 10 women a week or more. And again, you don't need to be going to talking to 30 girls a week. That's just too much, I believe. You don't need to do that. It's not a numbers game. It's a numbers game depending on the kind of result you want to have. If you want to sleep with like 10 girls a month or even 5 girls a month, you may want to talk to more girls. But if you want to, hook up with 3 to 5 girls, you don't need to talk to that many women to do that. If once you start becoming a product in the dating marketplace, that's very quality. You don't need to do that. So create momentum. A lot of guys don't do this, but you can do it. Create momentum. Go out and meet women 2 times a week at night, during the day, 5 girls during the week, right? Step number 4, and this is really important. Another mistake I see a lot of men make plans with women, don't get numbers. Okay, numbers don't mean anything. And with the guys I work with right now in our mastermind, this is the number one thing I hold them accountable to: making plans with women, not getting phone numbers. Fuck getting phone numbers. They're the worst thing in the world. I'm telling you, I hate phone numbers so much because I used to get flaked on. I would get numbers from girls and I would think it was going to work and something was going to come of it, and the girl would flake, the girl would cancel. I hated when that happened, so I figured out a solution. How do you actually not get canceled on? How do you not get flaked on? You get a girl's number. How do you make sure she's going to see you again? You don't get the number. You do get a number, of course, but the goal is not to get the number. You make plans with her. When you focus on getting phone numbers from this emotional place of, it's a nice interaction, you're laughing, I'm laughing, good vibes all around, what happens is she's distracted so that it's going to have no value. Getting commitment matters way more than getting a phone number. Trust me on this, my man. Getting commitment matters way more than just getting a phone number. When I meet a girl during the day, if we've got a good connection, or even at night, I'm not going to say, hey, what's your number? We should go out. Instead, I'm going to say, how down are you to grab wine this Friday? She says, maybe, maybe not. Most of the time, it's always maybe or yes. Like it's a maybe or it's a strong yes. Let's say it's a maybe. I'll figure out, okay, why is it a maybe, not a yes? We go into that. I ask her schedule. I ask what she's doing that day. I ask, has she ever been to this location, this place? She answers all that. I say, are you actually down to go out? Because if you're not, totally cool, but I do like you and I'd love to take you out and figure out how that night's going to go. She's going to invest and say yes. Then I'll say, okay, text me. But I only do that after I get strong commitment, and you'll never get flaked on. Now, you can do this really well, or you can do this really bad. There's some guys who fuck this up. And in our mastermind, there's guys learning this now, and they're getting way better at setting up solid dates. This is the basic principle. Make plans, don't get numbers. If you make plans with girls, instead of getting phone numbers, like, again, you have to get a phone number, but if you focus on making a plan, you're going to get way more solid numbers, and women are going to respond to you way more strongly. Okay, that's super powerful, and I want you to understand that. Step number 5, follow up is key. Okay, follow up is super key. I used to make this mistake all the time. I would get a number, I would text the girl, it would kind of die a little bit. She wouldn't cancel necessarily or completely flake, but it would just die. Maybe she wouldn't respond to my last text, and then I would just ignore it. It would be like no response, right? But women will normally not pursue you. Women are not going to usually be the ones pursuing you and making it easy. That's usually not going to happen. It sucks, but this is the way the dating marketplace works. This is dating dynamics. So don't hate the game, just achieve mastery. That's it. Don't hate the game, just learn the rules and change the rules even. This is what you do when you become a product. You change the rules of the game for yourself. I'm not kidding. It's crazy how this happens. But women will normally not pursue you. So what you're going to have to do is follow up and lock in plans. You're going to have to be the one to follow up. You're going to have to be the one to lock in the plans. And when you do this, it's going to become way easier to build a pipeline, to build what we call the dating funnel. We'll talk about this at a later training. Watch for that one coming soon. We're going to talk about actually the recession that's happening with men and inflation on male attention. It's crazy how powerful this is. So if you want to see that and know when we're putting it out, make sure you subscribe, because when you subscribe, you're going to see that training coming out. And we're literally going to go into the economics of dating. If you're logical like me and you like understanding the mechanisms of how dating and relationships works, this is going to be really good, because I put a lot of, actually a couple months into the background of this video and understanding the data behind how this video works, or how this mechanism in terms of inflation on male attention works. So watch that video, it's coming out soon. But I was saying that follow-up is key. You have to be following up. At any given time, you should have 5 girls in your phone that you're texting and following up with. Right now, one of the projects I'm working on, I can't say so much about it, but something I'm working on here in Budapest is actually building a private social club for very high-performing individuals and very quality attractive women, so that we can all come and create awesome content together, get creatives and photographers in there, video producers. We're doing something super cool, and there's going to be a lot of content I'll be sharing here on my channel about it in the next couple months. And one of the things that's interesting is I'm kind of back in the game, as it were, with when it comes to that, especially because I'm meeting a lot of these very attractive, model type girls that are sort of low level influencers or even high level influencers, photographers, things like that, connecting these people together. My phone, my DMs are blowing up constantly with new conversations, and I'm following up. Hey, did you get that? Hey, what do you think? Hey, what are your thoughts? Now, for me, it's different because it's business. But I also do this in dating still. Whenever I travel, whenever I'm going and meeting girls, there's a follow up. Hey, would love to see you. Nudge, nudge, sending a little GIF, a reminder, right? So follow up is super key. Here's how you're going to build a crazy kick-ass dating life and meet 5 more women this year. Again, number 1, become the product. Be the product, okay? Don't just rely on going out and taking the action and doing. You become the product. Become the man women want more of. Number 2, positioning and lifestyle. That's really big. Position yourself in a way where dating integrates to your lifestyle, where you're going to events, where you're going to spaces, where you're part of communities, where you're more likely to meet women as a product of who you are as a man and what you appreciate doing, what you enjoy doing. Number 3, create momentum. You've got to talk to girls. You've got to get the fuck out of your house. You've got to get after work. Let's say you still go to the office. People work from home, but let's say you're going to the office. After the office, after 5:30, 6, are you going and spending a little extra time walking through the city, through the busy area, saying hi to 1 or 2 girls, just half an hour maybe, but speaking to women? Create fucking momentum. Go out at night on a weekend, lose a little bit of sleep for one night to talk to girls. It's an investment in your future. Number 4, make plans, don't get the numbers. So again, you are going to get numbers, but the focus is not numbers. The focus is making plans and setting something up for the future with women. That's how you're going to have proper numbers, proper girls that you're texting going through your phone. Number 5, follow up is key. Make sure that when you get numbers, when you're texting with girls, you're keeping the threads open and you're pushing it forward towards a date. Don't just let it fall out. This is how you're going to see girls again, okay? Hopefully this makes sense. If you learned a lot from it, press the subscribe button so that you can learn more from me in the next couple months. We're going to put out some amazing, badass stuff on this channel. You have no idea how good this stuff is that we're going to be coming out with. We've already started, but there's more shit that I'm working on with the small team I've hired to produce this content with me. And then also, if you want to learn more from me and dive deep into what I do and go even further, check out the links below, because you can watch a training that I created breaking down my 4-step system of how I attract women actually and how my clients attract women. And then you can also book a call with me. It's a half an hour call. You answer a few questions to see if you'd be a good fit to work with me, and you can join the mastermind that we've got. It's a year-long program with a 90-day results window to transform everything about how you communicate with women and how you build your dream lifestyle, okay? I'll leave you there. I'll see you on the next training. Have an amazing day.